What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another daily deck tech video. I am working on another viewer request, trying to get the deck tuned just right. So in the meantime, we have ourselves the Serpent Society, an interesting ward creature. But before we get into that, if you like the daily deck techs, if you like Magic for the working class, History as Commander, everything else in between, feel free to subscribe, only if you feel I've earned it. And then also, if you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, drop it in the comments down below or fill out the Google form in the video description, and I will get that done for you. Now, without further ado, we have the Serpent Society. First and foremost, I have no idea who the Serpent Society is from Marvel, so if you do, let me know. Looks like a bunch of people dressed up as snakes and people who play with snakes. I, for one, do not like snakes. I grew up in an area where there was rattlesnakes and bull snakes and water snakes and garter snakes, and they always got in our yard, and it was awful all the time. Ugh. But who is the Serpent Society as a creature? Well, it's a 3/4 for 1 generic, 1 black, 1 green, has Deathtouch, and whenever another creature you control with Deathtouch dies, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. But that's not the really weird thing about this card. The really weird thing about this card is its ward. Ward, get 5 poison counters. Yes, you heard that right. And remember, it has it in the reminder text here, a player dies when they get 10 or more poison counters. They just lose the game. So you have this out here. Your opponent targets it with a Swords to Plowshares. They get half. You bring it back and they won't be able to target removal it again. So they have to counter it or mass removal it. Or kill it with combat damage, right? That's pretty interesting. It's certainly a very powerful ward. I'll be honest, I didn't expect Wizards to ever do something like this for a ward. But how we're going to play the deck today is we're going to have a million little Deathtouch dorks that are going to swing in, and if they get blocked and die, they're going to die, which means that our opponents have to sacrifice things. So, how are we going to do that today? Here is our supporting cast. So you're going to notice a big rock star in Deathtouch decks, Finn the Fangbearer. So Finn the Fangbearer is a Deathtouch. With whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals combat damage to a player, the player gets 2 poison counters. Pretty good, right? A lot of people play him as a commander for mono green. This gives us Deathtouch Kindred as a black green mechanic, which is pretty cool. But getting him out there, you have a bunch of these little dorks, and people don't want to block them because they don't want to lose their creatures. And then people don't want to attack you because they don't want to lose their creatures. But if you have Finn out there, they kind of are forced to block your creatures, which is, pretty interesting. Giving them the choice of death or death. For our little dorky dudes, we have Ambush Viper, Flash Deathtouch. Ankle Biter, Deathtouch. Ophelia, Viper, Whisperer, she has a million words of text on her. She's a 1/3 for 2 from Jumpstart, Deathtouch. And whenever Ophelia attacks, you may pay 2. If you do, create a black snake token with Deathtouch and pay 5 until end of turn. Whenever you until end of turn, whenever one or more Gorgons and or snakes you control deal combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. This is just even more absurd. Because people, it has been my experience, people will not block Deathtouch creatures. They just won't, because they don't want to lose their stuff that's advancing their game state. I cannot tell you how many times I've played like a Finn deck in 1v1 Brawl on Arena, and someone just chooses to die. Like, legitimately chooses to take the poison counters or chooses to take lethal damage rather than block the creatures. And that blows my mind. It's weird. It's weird. Then we have Aveline de Grand Pré. I don't speak French, so, did my best there. 3/3 for 4, Deathtouch, and whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch on deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on that creature. That's pretty good. Gonna pump up your dudes, make them even bigger, which is always good because, a 1/1 and a 2/2 are not overly intimidating. Bilious Skullwinder has Deathtouch and Toxic 1, so it'll help get some poison counters on people. We have Black Widow, Deadly Hunter. Her hair is blending in with the background on this card. Wow. 3/3 for 3. Deathtouch, and whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So yeah, you'll lose some life, but you're also going to probably get to draw quite a few cards, because like I said, for some reason, people just will not block the Deathtouch creatures. Not with anything. Not even their useless throwaway creatures. We have Dragon Sniper, Vigilance Reach, Deathtouch. Look at that. It's good. Evolution Sage. Yeah, I'm that guy. Assuming that we can get some poison counters on some people, Evolution Sage is in here to proliferate that with Landfall. Butler Frog, it's a mana dork with Deathtouch. They've been doing a lot of mana dorks with Deathtouch lately. We already talked about Finn. Then we have Glissa Sunslayer. First strike Deathtouch. First strike on a Deathtouch creature. Oh, baby, is so good because it'll deal its damage first, killing what it blocks it or whatever it blocks. And then you still have your Glissa. She's a 3/3 for 3, and whenever she deals combat damage to a player, you can either draw a card and lose a life, destroy an enchantment, or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. All are good abilities. Hit Monkey, can't be countered. Reach, Vigilance, Deathtouch, Hexproof, Haste. It's a 3/3 with a million keywords on it. We have Hooded Blightfang, Deathtouch, and whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Still not bad. And then whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals damage to a player, destroy that or Planeswalker, destroy that Planeswalker. Planeswalker removal is incredibly undervalued. Also, I've had this thing kick the crud out of me in Arena before. Hornet Queen, this one's a classic. I put this one more in here for its classic nature, but it's a 2/2 for 7. When she enters, she has Flying, Deathtouch, and then she creates 4 1/1 flying green insect creature tokens with Deathtouch. We have Leyline Prowler, Deathtouch Lifelink, Mana Dork, Nightshade Dryad, Mana Dork, Deathtouch, Noxus Newt, another Mana Dork, Deathtouch, Poison Dart Frog, another Mana Dork, Deathtouch. So many Mana Dork Deathtouches in here. Orin Frostfang. Creatures you control, attacking creatures you control have Deathtouch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Draw a card. We got the Ophiomancer. He spawns a Death-touching snake. Farika, God of Affliction, indestructible as long as your devotion black and green. It's less than 7. It's not a creature, but you can pay 2 to exile target creature card from a graveyard. Its owner puts a 1/1 black snake black and green snake enchantment creature token with Deathtouch on the battlefield. You can remove your own. Because, you know, once these little dudes die, we don't really need to get them all back. We have Poison Tipped Archer, Reach, Deathtouch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Questing Beast, Vigilance, Deathtouch, Haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by a creature's power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. And whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target Planeswalker that player controls. This card's really good. Wizards did the right thing by making this card legendary. And I know in a world where cards being legendary is everywhere, like this one actually needed to be legendary for balancing purposes. Imagine having multiple of these on the field at once in like a standard or something. We have Seraph, the Viper's Fang. Other tapped creatures you control have Deathtouch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. This is good because it's going to protect your creatures plus give the Deathtouch, and then you can pay 1 to tap it to untap another target creature you control. Tower Winder. It looks like a coral snake. Red and yellow, kill a fellow. Red and black, venom black. Remember that, friends. Reach, Deathtouch, and when Tower Winder enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a card named Command Tower, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. So it's a land tutor for Command Tower, and it has Reach and Deathtouch. And it's a spiky coral snake. We have Unstoppable Slasher. Deathtouch, when he deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life rounded up. When he dies, he comes back with some stun counters on him. Venerated Rot Priest. Toxic 1. And then whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter. This also, this essentially gives all of your creatures ward get a poison counter. It's pretty interesting. Very good. I wanted to make this into like a legacy deck where you were playing things like Berserk, etc. on it, add it into the Infect decks, but I never got around to it. Vraska the Silencer, Deathtouch. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return that card to the battlefield tapped under your control. It's a treasure instead. This is a great theft card. It's really cool. So like if the opponent loses a creature blocking like your 1/2 snake and your snake dies, not only will that creature die to the Deathtouch, but then they have to sacrifice another creature, and Vraska brings them back as treasures to advance your game plan. We have White Widow, Yelena Belova. Deathtouch, whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. Again, this will make your stuff bigger, making it... So, like, they might take a bunch of the damage, right? Because they're all 1/1s and 2/2s and 3/3s. But, like, things like White Widow and the other one up here, growing your creatures, makes it so they're gonna have to choose eventually. In our sorcery slot, we have Cultivate and Farseek for our... Oh, and Nature's Lore for our ramp. We do have Diabolic Intent to sack a creature and search your library for a card. So we do have a tutor in here. Tutor up your Finn or something else that you want. We have Infectious Inquiry. Draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Each opponent gets a poison counter. We have Rise of the Witch King. I really love this card. Each player sacks a creature. If you sacked a creature this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Immortal Bargain, as an additional cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice X creatures, destroy X target non-land permanents. This card's really good. And then we have Triumph of the Hordes, which of course is a finisher. Till end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1, gain trample, and infect. Instants. We have a pile of them here. For removal, we have Abrupt Decay, we have Assassin's Trophy, we have Atomize, Infectious Bite, Putrefy. Let's see here. In a way, kind of Golgari Charm if they have little 1/1 tokens. Vraska's Fall. Each opponent sacks a creature and they get a poison, or Planeswalker and they get a poison counter. This one also destroys a non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. There you go. For card draw, we have Corrupted Conviction. We're running several of these sack a creature because then it will trigger our society to make opponent sack. So there we go. This draws 2 cards, creates a treasure, draws 2 cards. Witherbloom, you can sack to draw 2 cards. Interesting utility spells. Tainted Strike gives +1/+0 in Infect. Snake Scale and Heroic Intervention are protection. We have Calling the Weak for ramp, and we have Fog for player protection. Artifacts. We are running Cauldron of Essence. This card's cool. Like, really cool. I pulled a bunch out of my Strixhaven decks, and I want to throw them into some stuff. Whenever a creature you control dies, an opponent loses 1, you gain 1. And you can pay 3, sack a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. Not only will this activate your Serpent Society, making opponents sacrifice things, but, like, you get your stuff back. And you can do that every turn. It's really cool. Skull Clamp. You'll love it. Equipped creature gets +1/-1, and whenever the equipped creature dies, you get to draw 2 cards. Swiftfoot Boots gives something hexproof, and Viridian Longbow. This is incredible. Equipped creature has tap. This creature deals 1 damage to any target. Put this on a Death-touching creature. Tap the Death-touching creature, deal 1 damage to any creature, and watch as that creature withers and dies. And then our enchantments. We have 3 very distinct cards. Black Market. Because lots of stuff's going to be dying this game, we want to be able to add tons and tons of mana. We have Dictate of Erebos. Whenever a creature you control dies, an opponent sacks a thing. Same with Grave Pact. Whenever a creature you control dies, another player sacks a thing. So if you get both of these out with your Serpent Society and like 1 creature of yours dies, you're netting so much value out of that. For our lands, we are running Bojuka Bog. We are running Phyrexian Tower and High Market as more sack outlets. You could run Secundi Void Altar in here, but most of these dudes are small and dorky, and it's not going to generate for you the amount of value that you want out of them, unless you get them pumped up with the other creatures. But that is the build. Let's go ahead and take a look at playtesting, shall we? Ooh, look at that. Moxfield gave us 2 lands. I'm going to take a... no, I have a frog. You know what? Ocean favors the bold. Let's do it. Next turn, we draw. Oh, baby. I'm going to play Finn. I don't have another land in hand, so this is going to enter tapped. But we are going to play the Frog Butler. And we're going to poke somebody for 1. Because you and I both know that there's somebody out there who's not going to have a creature. We untap. Oh, we got another forest. Look at that, friends. We are in business. I am going to play the Serpent Society. And then I'm going to play Swift Boots. I'll poke for 1 again. Since this is there, when they kill this or this, we'll have a fun time there. I am actually going to pay a colorless, and I am going to equip Finn with the Swiftfoot Boots to protect him. And we have 4 lands now. But I'm going to advance my board state. I'm going to put Seraph in play. So other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. That's fine. And tapped creatures you control have Deathtouch. So we are actually going to swing with both of these. I don't want the Serpent Society to necessarily have Hexproof, because I want my opponents to potentially get those 5 poison counters. So we're going to attack again. We untap, upkeep, draw. I'm actually not going to do too much. I'm going to go like this. Oh, wait, that's other. We're going to attack with all 3. We're going to say they get through. Then during an opponent's turn, we're going to sacrifice our Dart Frog to draw 2 and create a treasure token. All right, next turn. Play our Farika. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She is a creature. Pretty good there. And then, I suppose we'll just swing in. This is a very low to the ground, swingy in kind of deck. We're gonna play this Leyline Gator here, and you keep attacking. Us not running in. There's another black source. There we go. I was just gonna say, us not running into a black source is pretty sad. Honestly, you could literally just triumph with the hordes right now. This would make this a 3, a 4, a 4, a 6, and a 2. And then you get in. Plus, all these dudes have Deathtouch, right? Or, well, everybody but this one will have Deathtouch when you swing in, which will then also generate poison counters. So, that's an option. That's the build. That's the playtest. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have any of you built the Serpent Society as a commander? Let me know. As always, I'm Lester with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.